My fiancée sold the ring I spent weeks making just to party with her friends. So I stopped all our plans and saw her make-believe happy world fall apart. I'm Mason, 32, a man, and I've been set to marry Lauren, 29, a woman, for about 2 years now. We have been a pair for 5 years, and until not long ago, I thought we had a very strong bond. Now I'm not so sure, and I feel like I'm going a bit crazy. I work with machines for my job, but what I really love to do is work with wood. I began doing this for fun when I was a boy, but as time went by, it has become my way out from the hard work of each day. I like to make things with my hands, like chairs, small cut wood art, and even rings and necklaces. It feels good to take plain wood and change it into something nice and useful. When I wanted to ask Lauren to marry me, I knew I did not want to just go to a shop and get a ring. That felt like it had no special feel, you get it? I wanted something that meant a lot, something that showed who we are. So I chose to make the ring on my own. I worked for many weeks to draw how it would look. It was a plain pink gold circle with a blue stone in the middle. Lauren likes one-of-a-kind, not showy jewelry, so I thought it would be just right for her. The stuff to make it cost me $2,600 just by itself. But to be true, the time and hard work I put into it was worth much more than the money it cost. When I asked her to marry me, Lauren was very, very happy. She cried when I told her I made the ring with my own hands, and she said over and over how much she liked it. She even showed it to her friends and family, telling all of them how special it was. We have been getting ready for our wedding ever since. We did all things, from picking the best place to have it, to picking flowers, cards to ask people to come, and even the small things, like how the tables would look. For the past 2 years, she had it on her finger every day, until about 3 weeks back. I first saw it was gone when we were getting set to go out to eat. She did not have the ring on, which was not normal. I did not say anything then because I thought maybe she forgot to put it on or took it off when she was cleaning. But then I saw it was off again the next day and the day after that. I began to look for it, and it became easy to see that she was not putting it on at all now. I thought maybe something bad happened to it. Maybe it got broken or lost and she was too afraid to tell me. So one night when we were sitting on the sofa, I just asked, "Hey, where is your ring? I have not seen you with it on lately." She looked at me for a short time, then said, "Oh, I gave it to the ring store man to make it clean." That answer did not feel right to me. You see, I made the ring myself. I have always been the one to clean or make it shine for her when it needed to look better. She had never said before that she would take it to a ring store. And to be honest, the thought of her doing that and not telling me felt a bit odd. But I did not want to think too much about it or seem like I was telling her what to do, so I just moved my head up and down and said, "Oh, okay." But still, something about it bothered me. A few days went by and the ring was still not back. I asked about it one more time, trying to sound like it was no big deal. "So, when will your ring be back from the ring store?" She looked at me fast and said, "It is taking a bit more time than I thought. They said they have a lot of work." That answer only made me feel more bad. What kind of ring store man takes so long to clean a ring? I have cleaned it myself before. It takes about, 10 minutes? But I did not ask her more about it. I told myself I was thinking too much, and that there was most likely an easy reason. Maybe she just wanted to let me rest from taking care of it. Or maybe I was making it more important than it was. But as more days went by, I could not stop feeling that something was not right. Each time I looked at her hand, it felt like it told me that something was gone. Not just the ring, but the close tie I thought we had. I began to look all over the house, hoping maybe she just put it down someplace. I looked in her jewelry box by her bed, even in the kitchen where she sometimes takes her rings off when she cooks food. It was not in any of those places. I thought about asking her one more time, but I did not want to seem like I was thinking about it too much. If something was wrong, she would tell me at some point, but at the same time, I could not stop feeling that she was keeping a secret from me. I began to ask myself about everything. Was I making too much of nothing, or was there something more going on? It has been 3 weeks now, and I still have not seen the ring. Lauren acts like all is okay, like there is nothing strange about what is happening at all, but I cannot ignore the bad feeling that will not go away in my stomach. That ring was not just a thing to wear. It was a sign of all the things I thought we believed in, and now it is gone, and I do not know what to think. A few days after, when we were eating our meal, Lauren just said, "Oh, I forgot to tell you, I am going on a 2-day trip with Kelly and Jenny. Just a short trip for us girls." She said it so like it was no big thing, as if it was the most normal thing in the world. I stopped moving for a short time, trying to understand what she just said. A trip? When did you plan this? I asked, making my voice show no feeling. Lauren lifted and dropped her shoulders and said, "We have all been so worried, and we just thought, why not take 2 days to rest? Nothing wild, just some quiet time at a small house in the next state." Now, here is the thing. Lauren and I have been putting money aside like crazy, between getting ready for the wedding, trying to get a car that works better, and some costs we did not plan for that came up this year. We have been spending less on almost everything. No trips, no things we do not need to buy, and even not going out for our usual nights, just us two. This was something we both said yes to many months ago, so I was mixed up hearing her talk about this trip that came from no place. I tried not to sound too worried. "How long have you been making plans for this?" "Not for long," she said, making it seem not important. "It is something Kelly said we should do, and Jenny wants to do it too. They really want me to go with them. We have all been worried, and it is just for 2 days. I think it will be fun." It did not feel right to me. How much money will it cost? Lauren lifted and dropped her shoulders. "Not a lot. We are sharing the cost of the small house, and it is just for a few days. It will not cost too much." Her answers were not clear, and that only made me feel more worried. "Where are you getting the money for this? We have been saving for months and said we would put all we could toward the wedding and the car." I tried to keep my voice the same, but I could not hide that I was worried. She gave me a fast, "Don't worry about it. I have been putting money aside a little at a time," before she went back to looking at her phone. That answer did not make sense. Lauren had never said before that she was saving for something like this. We tell each other a lot about our money, and I could not think of even one time in the last few months when she said she had extra money for something like a trip. But I did not want to ask more. Maybe she really had been saving, and I just did not see it. I let the talk end, but something about it bothered me. The next night, I came home from my job, and Lauren was in our room putting things in a bag. Seeing her folding clothes and putting away her things for washing up made me think about it all again. This trip was not just a thought anymore. It was going to happen, and she was leaving in 1 or 2 days. Still, I did not want to ask too many questions and start a fight. But the more I thought about it, the more the whole thing bothered me. Lauren was not the kind of person to make plans like this without thinking. And if she had been saving money, why did she not say so before? Something felt wrong. The next day, I chose to ask about it again. "So, what are the plans for this trip?" I asked, trying to sound like it was no big deal. "Are you all sharing the costs? It seems like it would be a lot of money. Gas for the car, food, the small house. Are you sure you have enough money for it?" Lauren let out a big breath, clearly annoyed that I was still asking questions. "I told you it is all paid for. Kelly found a very good price, and we are all sharing the costs the same." "Even so," I said slowly, "it is a trip. It is not just the small house, right? Are you sure this is the right time for something like this?" She moved her eyes in a circle and threw her phone on the sofa. "Mason, I have it all taken care of. Why are you acting like this is such a big thing? It is just for 2 days. I need this." Her way of protecting herself only made me feel more worried. "I am just trying to get it, that is all," I said. "We have had so little money to spend, and this feels kinda fast. Where is the money coming from?" Her face changed for a very short time, just long enough for me to see it. It was like she did not know what to say. That wait before she answered made my stomach feel bad. "Lauren," I said slowly, "what is happening?" She moved in her seat like she was not happy and would not look at my eyes. "I told you," she said after a short time, "I have it all worked out. You do not need to worry about it." "That is not an answer," I said, my voice more strong now. "We have been planning every bit of money we spend for months, and now you are getting money from no place for a trip? I am not trying to start a fight, but I need to know, where did the money come from?" She looked mad, like I was making her feel bad for no reason. "Okay, fine," she said, lifting her hands up in the air. "If you have to know, I sold my ring to a shop. There, that is where the money came from." I just looked at her, trying to understand what she just said. "What? You sold your engagement ring to a shop?" I asked, my voice lower now. "Why?" "Because I needed the money," she said, like it was the most easy thing to understand in the world. "It is not gone for always. I will get it back after the trip." I could not believe what I was hearing. My chest felt tight as her words went into my mind, each one hurting more than the one before. She sold the ring I made for her, a part of me that I put many hours into making just to go on some dumb trip. Was this how little it was worth to her? Was this how little I was worth to her? Lauren, that ring was not just a thing to wear. I made that ring for you. I worked on it for weeks because I wanted it to mean something, and you just sold it without even telling me? My voice shook because I was mad. It is my ring, she said in a way to protect herself. I did not think I had to ask you if I could do what I want with it. And also, it is not like I sold it for good. It is just for a short time. It is not about having to ask me, I said, trying to stay calm. It is about the fact that you made a very big choice, one that changes things for both of us without even talking to me first. That ring was supposed to show our love for each other, and you just got rid of it like it was worth nothing. I did not get rid of it, she said back fast. I will get it back. Why are you making this such a big thing? The way she talked, the way she held her body, everything about how she answered made me feel like I was going crazy. She did not seem to get it or care what the ring meant to me. To her, it was just a way to get what she wanted. Lauren, I said at last, trying to sound as calm as I could. I do not think this is the right time for a trip. We are supposed to be saving money, and selling your ring to a shop to make it happen just feels not right. I cannot not go now, she said, putting her arms across her chest. I already told Kelly and Jenny I am going. We have been making plans for this, and I need the time to rest. At that time, I did not see any reason to say more. I could have stopped her. I could have made it so she could not leave, but why try if she could not even see what was wrong from the start? The next morning, she put her things in her bags without showing any doubt and walked out the door like it was just a normal day. We will talk when I come back, she said as she left. I stood there watching her leave, knowing very well that any talk we would have after this would not change a thing. But I also knew for sure that things would not be the same ever again. After she left, I just sat there thinking, what just happened? She told me straight out that she sold the engagement ring I spent so much time and hard work on like it was worth nothing. Then she went on a trip with her friends, did not ask me, did not tell me first, just told me like it was no big deal, like, oh, I forgot to tell you. At first, I tried to forget about it. I told myself it was not worth getting upset about while she was away. But the longer I sat there, the more bad it felt. It was not even about the ring or the trip anymore. It was the way she did everything. Like what I thought did not matter, like I was just supposed to go along with it. The secret, the way she brushed me off, the whole way she acted, it felt so wrong. I spent the next hour just looking at bad news on my phone, trying to think of something else, but it did not work. My mind kept going back to her trip. Lauren is not usually this fast to act, and she is for sure not the kind of person to do something at the last minute without thinking about it. None of it made sense, most of all because we have not had much money lately. So I began to look for answers. If she was not going to tell me what was really happening, I had to find out myself. I began with her friends, Kelly and Jenny. Look, I will be true. I have never liked those two. They are the kind who seem to love problems and bad choices. From what I know, not one of them would ever choose to have a quiet 2-day trip. Their kind of trip is loud places to dance, bad choices, and mornings full of feeling bad about what you did. The thought that they were planning some quiet time in a small house in the woods? No, I did not believe it. Something about this whole thing did not make sense. I opened Instagram and looked for Kelly's page. For sure, her newest post was a picture of a small house with trees all around it, with the words, "Girls' Weekend starts, let's go." The small house looked like it cost a lot, much too nice to be the kind of place you would go to when you don't have much money. Then I saw something else in Kelly's words. A big thank you to my man for helping make this trip happen. You are the best. That was strange. Lauren had never said anything about Kelly's boyfriend paying for part of the trip. In fact, she had made it sound like they were all sharing the cost the same. It made me think, did Lauren sell her ring to a shop because she felt like she had to do the same things as her friends Kelly and Jenny? The more I thought about it, the more it seemed to make sense. Lauren has always been close to Kelly, and to be honest, she seems to look up to her whole free, do-what-you-want way of being. I would not be surprised if she felt some push to be like that, even if it meant making choices that did not make much sense. And now that I think about it, the way she brushed off my questions about the trip felt wrong, like she was not telling me all of it. I kept looking at Kelly's page, but there was not much about the trip. Just a few posts that said nothing much about good time with the girls, and some pictures of her putting things in a bag, nothing that seemed important. So I looked at Jenny's page. She is usually more quiet online, but her newest post caught my eye. It was a short video that went back and forth of her and Kelly hitting their glasses together, with the words cabin feel, and in the back, a bar full of drinks. This did not feel right. Lauren had made it seem like this was a quiet trip, but everything I was seeing showed something much bigger. I felt a tight feeling in my stomach. Was there more to this trip than she had said? And if so, why would she not just tell me the truth? I sat back trying to understand it all. Maybe I was making things more important than they were. Maybe Kelly and Jenny were just the kind of people who like to make everything seem more fancy than it really is. But no matter how much I tried to make myself believe it, that bad feeling would not go away. That is when I saw Lauren's computer sitting on the kitchen counter, closed but just sitting there where anyone could see it. She must have left it behind when she was in a hurry to leave for the trip. I stood there for a whole minute, just looking at it and thinking back and forth in my mind. On one side, opening it felt like I was going into her private things, like going past a line I was not sure I wanted to go past. But then again, she had already been keeping secrets, sold something that meant so much to me, and completely brushed off everything I said. The more I thought about it, the more I felt like, you know what, I have the right to know what is really happening. So I took it, opened it, and put in her password. I turned on the computer and went to her messages. Their group talk opened without trouble, and as I looked through it, my stomach felt tight. The newest messages were all about the trip, and the more I read, the more bad it got. This was not some quiet 2-day trip. They were planning nights out at places to drink, meeting men, and getting drunk to see what would happen. One message from Kelly almost jumped out at me. Leave the ring at home. No one needs to know you are going to get married this weekend. My hands held tight to the edge of the counter as I read it again, anger and not believing what I was reading going through me. I kept looking, my stomach feeling worse with every message I read. Jenny added her thoughts. Yeah, this is your time to have some fun before you get married. Do not let him stop you from having fun. Lauren's answer was a laughing face picture, and yes, I could sure use a little time to do what I want. Freedom? That word hit me like a big truck. Freedom from what? From me? From the life we were making together? I kept looking, hoping there would be something, anything that would make this make sense. But it only got more bad. Jenny even made a joke about how they could act like they were not in a relationship for the weekend without anyone knowing. And Lauren, she did not say a thing to stop it. Instead, she laughed like it was all just a joke that hurt no one. I could not believe she was that dumb to trust girls like this, or even listen to them. It was like she thought no matter what she did, I would still be there fixing her problems. I felt like the floor under me had just gone away. This was not about the money or the ring anymore. This was about trust. And everything I was reading made it clear that Lauren had no trouble throwing that trust away. I sat there for what felt like forever looking at the screen. Part of me wanted to close the computer and act like I had not seen any of it, but another part of me, most likely the part that spoke louder, knew I could not ignore this. I needed to do something. For a short time, I thought about calling her, but what would I even say? Hey Lauren, I just read your group talk, and now I know you have been lying to me about this trip. No, that would not work. This was not the kind of talk I could have on the phone. It had to be in person. Still, I could not act like everything was okay while she was out there lying to me and making our relationship look stupid. At that moment, I just knew I was not going to stay in this relationship with someone who could lie to my face, throw away something so personal, and make choices without telling me. If she could do this now, even before we were married, what would she do after we were married and life got more hard? Everything I thought I knew about Lauren, about our relationship, felt like it was going away from me. What she did was not some small mistake. It was very big, at least for me. Say whatever you want about me, but I just could not see a future with someone who could so easily not respect me in our relationship. This was not about feeling not good enough or making too much of it. It was about trust, being true, and what kind of being together I wanted in my life. And clearly, that was not something we could have anymore. So, I did the first thing I thought of. I opened my computer and began to get all the details for the wedding we had been planning. Places to have it, people to make the food, flowers, every person we had paid to do something. I was not even sure what I was doing at first. It felt like I was acting without thinking, almost not caring about what would happen. But as I looked at the emails that said, "Yes, we have you booked," I knew exactly what I needed to do. I began to make calls and stopping everything. The place to have the wedding was the hardest. It had taken months to find, and the money we had to give them first hurt to lose. But as I told the person in charge of the place that the wedding was not happening, I felt a strange feeling of being glad, like I was finally taking back control of my life. After that, I stopped the food people and the flower people, spending many hours taking apart months of planning. It made me very tired, but there was no way I could have a wedding when the person I was supposed to marry could not even respect me enough to be true. Stopping the wedding was not enough, though. Lauren was still on that trip, lying and acting like she was not in a relationship. I could not just let her get away with it, most of all because I knew other people were part of the lies too. I kept thinking about the group talk messages. Kelly and Jenny saying how great it was that no one needed to know they were planning to act like they were not in a relationship. They thought they were so smart, tricking everyone, but they were not as smart as they thought. If Lauren's actions were any sign, there was no way that Kelly and Jenny's boyfriends had any idea about what was really happening. This was not just about me anymore. Those men have the right to know the truth about the kind of women they were with. I was not going to just sit back and let them treat all this lying like it was some kind of joke. They needed to be found out, and I was ready to make sure it happened. I opened my phone and began to look. It did not take long to find Kelly's boyfriend, Mark, on Instagram. He was marked in many of her pictures, and his page was open for all to see. "Hey Mark," I wrote, "I know this comes from nowhere, but I am Lauren's soon-to-be husband, and I just found some messages between her, Kelly, and Jenny about the trip they are on now. I think you should know what is happening." I added pictures of the group talk. Most of all the messages where Kelly said to leave her ring at home and act like she was not in a relationship. After checking everything 2 times, I pressed send. I did the same for Jenny's boyfriend, Jake. He was a little harder to find, but after looking through Jenny's page, I found him marked in a picture. I sent him a message like the one to Mark with the same pictures. After that, I felt a wave of being worried. What if they did not believe me? What if this only made things more bad? But then the answers started to come back. Mark was the first to write back. "Wait, what? Are you for real?" he wrote. "Kelly told me they were just going to rest at a small house. She never said anything about going to places to drink or acting like she was not in a relationship." Jake's answer was the same. "Man, thanks for telling me. Jenny made it sound like this was just a quiet weekend with her friends. I had no idea." Both of them were for sure upset, and we wrote messages back and forth for a time as I told them all about what I had found. Mark was very mad. "I have been feeling strange about this trip since she told me about it," he said. "I should have listened to my gut feeling." Over the next few hours, I began to hear about what happened after. Mark wrote to me again saying, "It has been a mess, man." I talked to Kelly, and she tried to make it seem like it was no big deal. When I did not believe her, she said Lauren was the one who thought of the idea to leave the rings at home. That was all I could take. I put my things in bags and left that night. Jake did the same thing not long after. He wrote that Jenny has been trying to make the whole thing seem different, saying it was just jokes, but I do not believe her. I went to her parents' house to talk about it because she would not even give me a true answer. From what they told me, it was total chaos. Kelly and Jenny got mad at each other, trying to put the blame on the other person, and Lauren was not without blame either. It seems that Kelly told Mark that Lauren had pulled them into this mess to make herself look better. By the time I was done talking to them, I felt a mix of different feelings. It felt good to know I was not alone in this, that other people were just as surprised and hurt as I was. But it was very sad to see how much harm this trip had done, not just to me, but to Mark and Jake too. After that, I chose to just forget about it all and think about myself. I had done all I could, and there was no reason to keep thinking about it all the time anymore. I spent the day trying to think clearly, cleaning the house, taking Max, my dog, for a walk, and staying away from anything that made me think of Lauren. The house still felt strange though, too quiet, too empty, but I told myself it was better like this. I could not control what she had done, but I could control how I went on with my life. Then my phone made a sound. It was a text from Lauren. "What is happening, Mason? Kelly said you wrote to Mark. Why would you do that?" I looked at the screen for a short time, my stomach feeling bad before I threw the phone to the side. I was not going to let her pull me back into her mess. I looked at the screen for a moment, thinking about how to answer. I was not going to start a fight with texts. I wrote back, "We need to talk. Come back home so we can have a real talk in person." Her answer came back fast. "I cannot just leave, Mason. We've had this trip planned for weeks. I do not understand why you are doing this now." I was not going to get into a back and forth with her. "Come back so we can talk the right way. If not, do not think you will find me here when you come back. That is all I am saying." No answer came after that. No matter what happened next, I knew things would never be the same again. She came back late the next day. I did not even hear the door open at first, but her voice broke the quiet. "Mason, are you for real right now?" she said in a sharp and blaming way, like I was the one who did something wrong. I turned around to see her standing in the doorway, arms across her chest, looking both mad and surprised. "Glad you chose to come back," I said, keeping my voice calm. "The last thing I wanted was for this to turn into a loud fight." "I cannot believe you," she said in a sharp voice, walking into the room. "Kelly and Jenny are very angry. Mark and Jake are sending them many messages, and now it is all my fault." "What were you thinking, Mason?" I leaned back against the counter, putting my arms across my chest. "I was thinking it is time for some truth. You said we would talk when you came back, so here we are. Let's talk." She made a sound like she did not believe me, dropping her bag on the floor with a loud sound. "This is how you deal with things, by putting yourself into other people's relationships. You have made everything so much more bad." "You want to talk about making things more bad?" I asked. "I asked you to come back so we could have a real talk. This is not about your friends, Lauren. This is about us." She let out a loud breath like she was the one with a head pain. "Fine," she said. "You clearly want to say what is on your mind, so go ahead." I stood there for a moment, just looking at her, acting to protect herself, ready to fight, not able to see at all how I felt. It was like everything I had been keeping inside finally broke. "I feel like I don't even know who you are anymore," I said, my voice not changing but sharp. "You have been lying, keeping secrets, making choices that change things for both of us without even thinking. And when I try to talk about it, you act like I'm the one with the problem." Her eyes got smaller. "You are being silly. I have not lied to you about anything." I lifted one eyebrow. "Really? You did not lie when you said this trip was just a quiet time with your friends? You did not lie by not telling me how it was even paid for." She stopped for just a second before her bad attitude came right back. "I told you where the money came from," she said sharply. "And the trip was not some wild party like you're trying to make it sound. We just needed some time to rest. I don't see what the big thing is." "The big thing," I said, my voice getting harder, "is that you did not think it was important to talk to me about any of it. You did not think it mattered to be true with me. Do you even know how it feels to find out everything after it happens? Like I don't even have the right to know what is happening." She moved her eyes in a circle like I was making too much of it. "You are making this much bigger than it is, Mason. It was just 2 days with my friends. It is not like I did anything wrong." "You still do not get it," I said, moving my head side to side. "This is not about the trip, Lauren. It is about respect. You sold your engagement ring to a shop, lied about it, and then brushed off how I felt like it did not matter? Do you even know what you have done?" Her arms were crossed tight, her face hard and like she did not care. "It is just a ring, Mason. You are making this into something it is not." Those words hurt more than I thought they would. "It is not just a ring," I said in a low voice. "I made that ring for you. It was not just something to wear. It was supposed to mean something about us, about our future, and you treated it like it was worth nothing." She looked at me, her face showing no feeling. Then, with a way of talking that made me wonder if I ever really knew her, she said, "If you care this much about a thing to wear, maybe you need to think again about what marriage is supposed to mean." That hurt more than anything else she had said. "It is not just a ring," I said in a low voice. "I made that ring for you. It was not just something to wear. It was supposed to mean something about us, about our future, and you treated it like it was worth nothing." She looked at me, her face showing no feeling. Then, with a way of talking that made me wonder if I ever really knew her, she said, "If you care this much about a thing to wear, maybe you need to think again about what marriage is supposed to mean." That hurt more than anything else she had said. I took a slow breath, making myself calm. You are right, Lauren. I do need to think again about this, because it is clear we do not see things the same way. Her eyes moved fast for a second, surprised. What is that supposed to mean? It means this is over, I said strongly. I stopped the wedding. I am done. You have shown me exactly how much this relationship means to you, and I am not going to keep acting like everything is okay when it is not. Her mouth dropped open. You stopped the wedding without even talking to me? I moved my head up and down, staying very calm. I did not think I had to ask you if I could, I said, using her own words back to her. For a moment, she just looked at me like she could not believe what she was hearing. Her mouth opened like she wanted to argue, but no sound came out. I did not wait for her to find words to say. I turned and walked away, leaving her standing there, having to deal with what had just happened. The next few days were honestly strange. Lauren left the house, put her things in bags, and left without saying where she was going. I did not ask. Why would I? I was done running after her or trying to understand what she was thinking. At first, it felt odd. The house was more quiet, but also felt less heavy, like I could really breathe again. By the time a month had gone by, I was beginning to feel like my old self again. But last week, I got a message from Lauren. It was short and said just what was needed. We need to talk. I looked at it for a long time, thinking about whether I should even answer. But the truth is, I did not owe her anything at all. Whatever she wanted to say was not going to change what happened, and it was for sure not going to change the fact that I was going on with my life. So, I did not answer it. That was the last time I heard from her. And to be honest, good that she is gone. Now, let us talk about the ring. At first, I thought about just forgetting about it, but something kept bothering me. I could not stop thinking about how Lauren had sold it to a shop without even thinking, like it meant nothing. I don't know if it was pride, anger, or just wanting to get back the thing I made with my own hands, but I chose to get it back. The problem was, I had no idea which shop she had gone to. Did I write to her? No way. Instead, I began to think about where she might have gone. I knew Lauren was not the kind of person to go far for something like that. She only did things that were easy. I made a list of shops near the places she usually goes, like places she drove by on her way to work or to the food store. I went to each one, asking if they had seen a special pink gold ring with a blue stone. Most of them just gave me empty looks or said no.
At last, at one shop, the man behind the counter asked, "Did it have words cut inside it? Something like first letters or a date?" My heart felt like it fell. I had put small words cut inside it with the date we first met. I moved my head up and down, and he took it out from under the counter. Seeing it again hurt more than I thought it would. It felt like getting back a part of me that had been taken. After I had it back, I could not keep it anymore. It still had too many bad memories tied to it. But at least now I got to choose what to do with it, so I sold it. It felt both sad and good, but also like I was free. The money I got went to something I have wanted to do for years, but never felt like I was able to do. Starting a personal project I had been thinking about for a long time. Putting that money into something I cared about felt like getting back a piece of myself. When Lauren found out that I had found the ring and sold it, she called me very mad. "What is wrong with you, Mason? That was my ring. You had no right to sell it." I just told her I had every right. I made that ring, and you sold it to a shop without even telling me. If it meant so little to you, why should you care what I did with it? She made sounds like she did not know what to say for a moment before changing what she was saying. I was going to get it back after the trip. You make too much of things. I did not try to argue. The ring was mine to get back, and selling it felt like getting myself back. And yes, that is where I am now. If you are reading this and dealing with something like this, here is what I think you should do. Trust your gut feelings. If something feels wrong, do not ignore it. Do not stay in a bad situation just because you have already spent a lot of time or work on it. It is not worth it. You should have someone who respects you and thinks what you give is important, not someone who treats you like their second choice. As for me, I am still going on with my life. My job has been good, I have good friends who have helped me through this, and for the first time in a long time, I feel like I am going the right way, one step at a time, and it feels like the life I want to have is finally something I can reach.